Okay, good morning. Today we are going to learn about the fundamentals of computer. Okay, this is lesson number 1, fundamentals of computer. A computer executes a variety of functions as per the instruction given to it. Instructions are the command that we give to the computer so that it performs the task. Instructions comprise of valid facts and figures which are commonly called data. With the help of input devices such as keyboard and mouse, we give data to the computer. Let us learn how a computer processes data. Okay, so this is the fundamentals of computer, means the basic features or basic things of computers. Okay, so these are the very basic factors of computers. Okay, so the computer, how does the computer works? Depend upon our command, computer works. Okay, so without instruction, computer cannot work. Okay, instruction comprises of valid facts, figures. Okay, so these are called data. Okay, that is a computer language that we call data. Okay, so whatever instruction we give to computer, that works. Okay, just like we write on a copy or a book with a pen or pencil, so we have some input devices that is called keyboard, mouse. Okay, these are input devices. Okay, if you want to talk to or communicate with computer, we need these input devices. Okay, through this we communicate with computer, or we give data, or we give any instruction to computer, then computer start working. Okay, so IPO cycle. A computer has the ability to process data very quickly. First, it takes up the data and processes to it depending on the instruction given to it, and then a computer gives an output. To sum up, we can say that every computer follows an output process output cycle, or IPO cycle. Okay, so as I have told you, so depend upon our command or the instruction that we give to computer, it works. Okay, so that is a kind of process that takes place in a computer. Okay, so we can say every computer follow an input process output cycle. Say it again: input process, then output cycle. Okay, when we give command or instruction, so it processes the data or whatever we instruction give, then give the output. Okay, that is a process of computer. Okay, how do a computer function with IPO cycle? There are 3 stages in IPO cycle. The first stage is called the input stage. In this stage, data and instructions are provided to the computer through input devices. These input devices are keyboard, mouse, scanner, magnetic ink character reader, okay, optical mark reader, light pen, webcam, and others. Okay, the first step, what is the first step? Giving instruction to the computer. Okay, the first stage is called input stage. Input stage means we should understand what are the input devices. Okay, the material through which we communicate to computer or give instruction to computer are called input devices. Okay, so what are the input devices? Like keyboard, mouse, scanner, magnetic ink, character reader, okay, then optical mark reader, microphone, light pen, webcam. Okay, these are the input devices. Okay, the second stage is processing information and is called the process stage. CPU, which is the processing device, carries out all the instruction as per the given data. Okay, the first stage is input stage, second one is processing stage. Okay, so the processing stage, where it takes place, it is in CPU. Okay, the CPU processes the command or instruction that we give to computer. Okay, the third stage is the output stage. After processing, output is produced. the output is shown or given out on an output device such as the monitor, printer, projector, or plotter. Okay, the data is stored either in memory devices of the computer or in the secondary storage devices. The secondary storage devices include hard disk, CDs, DVDs, pen drives, and memory cards. Okay, the third stage is like after processing, it gives the result. Okay, so comes up with the result. So it can be shown on a computer monitor or through printer or projector. Okay, so these are the medium of showing the things outside. Okay, through this medium computer shows it the result. Okay, see, you can just see this image, you can find out very clearly. It is very easily explained. Okay, the first one is input. Okay, then the process taking place. Okay, in between there is a device called storage. See, storage. Okay, going and coming up and down. Okay, this is the storage system. Then comes the output. Okay, the main three parts. See, these are the main three stages of process, and in the middle process, it comes and goes, because this is a storage system. Whatever process, whatever data we give, so it gets stored here. Okay, so it can be primary and secondary. The storage system can be primary or secondary. Okay, so what is the secondary? So the secondary devices include hard disk, CD, DVD, pen drive, and memory card. You got it? Okay, so moving on to the next one. Inside the computer CPU, figure 1.2. Okay, we will see that in the next page. Demonstrate a CPU case which holds the CPU along with other processing and storage devices and drives such as motherboard, sound card, hard disk, RAM, ROM. Okay, then CPU takes the instructions given by the user, executes some operations on the instructions, and transmit the result to an output device. The CPU is called the brain of the computer. It has two main components: arithmetic logic unit and control unit. Okay, so inside the computer there are a lot of process takes place. Okay, so this process takes place inside this box. This is called CPU. Okay, inside this we have some other components like what are the things? See here, CPU case holds what are the things? Motherboard, sound card, hard disk, RAM, and ROM. Okay, these are the components working inside this box called CPU. Okay, so the CPU has two main parts. One is ALU or arithmetic logic unit and control unit, CU. Okay, CPU is called the brain of the computer. So this is the brain. So normally we know without brain how things will work in our life. So we cannot do anything. Okay, brain is only controlling everything and instructing us and guiding us and doing all kind of things in our life. The same way, without this CPU, we cannot do anything on a computer. So in fact, this is the main part of a computer. Okay, so it has two parts. Okay, one is arithmetic logic unit, another one is control unit. Okay, the arithmetic logic unit performs all arithmetic and logical operations. It is responsible for all type of calculations and operations. All arithmetic operations such as plus, minus, dividing, and all sort of mathematical calculations are done here. Okay, and rational and logical operations like greater than, smaller than, equal, okay, and or and not. Okay, so on. For example, we when we give an input to add two numbers, these two instructions are sent from the keyboard to the memory of the CPU. From memory, they are further sent to the ALU for addition. Okay, then ALU performs the calculation and sends it back to the memory. Okay, so now the arithmetic logic unit. Okay, all the arithmetic and logic system works in this unit. Okay, see, in an office we can find different departments, is it not? Okay, there are different departments. Okay, every department has its own work. The same way, so in CPU we can find two major departments, so that we can very easily, for understandable way, we can understand it. So two main components, okay, that is called departments. So we can take it for instance. Okay, so the arithmetic logic unit, they do all kind of calculation, like mathematical calculations. Okay, whatever plus, minus, divide or multiply, whatever we want to do, every mathematical calculations are taking place in this unit, but it takes very fast. Okay, every performance of calculations. So how it works? So when we give instruction through keyboard, okay, to the memory of the CPU, from memory they further send to the ALU for addition, whatever processing. Okay, then ALU performs the calculation and send back to the memory. Okay, so this is the process taking place in the ALU unit. Okay, then moving on to the control unit. Control unit manages the various components of the computer. It reads and interprets instruction from memory and transforms them into a series of signals to activate other parts of the computer. The control unit calls up the arithmetic logic unit to perform the obligatory calculations. Okay, the control unit is the controlling power. Okay, this component, what it do? So they whatever instruction we give to CU unit, this CU unit take the things and what we call interpret it, or it takes into computer language and give all the guidance to the other areas and brings out the results. Okay, but even though these are different works and different process taking place in different unit, or the what we call components, through the work takes place through different components, but it takes very fastly in a fraction of time. See, when we type something here, see, immediately the result comes up. So that is the fastest mean of working through computer. Okay, so that's why these computers are very important in the day-to-day activities of nowadays. Okay, then moving on to the next one, role of memory in working of a computer. So role of memory means we have lot of memory disks, like main memory. Okay, then okay, we will just go through this. Main memory. The main memory is defined as the central storage in a computer. It is also known as a primary memory or internal memory. It consists of random access memory or RAM and read-only memory ROM. Okay, so now we have the role of memory in computer. Okay, so there are two parts in the internal memory. So what are they? First one is RAM and ROM, ROM. Okay, so the main memory defined as the central storage in computer, and it is also known as the primary memory or internal memory. Okay, so whatever things we give or the data we feed on computer, it goes directly to the internal memory. Okay, it consists of two parts. One is RAM and ROM. Okay, so what is RAM? Random access memory comprises of the main memory. CPU can read data from it and also and can also write data onto it in a very short span of time. Okay, RAM is a type of computer storage whose contents can be accessed in any order. It is a fast and temporary type of memory as it deletes all the data when computer is switched off. It is therefore also called volatile memory. It can be seen inside the CPU in the form of a chip. See, this is called RAM. Okay, this is RAM. Did you see this? Yeah, RA and RAM. Okay, so this is called primary memory. Primary memory. So whatever we work on a computer, immediately all the temporary type of memory goes to this RAM and get back the details, goes in, comes out. But once we switch off the computer, so there will not be any memory on it. Okay, this memory works as a temporary worker. Okay, this works as a temporary memory worker. Okay, moving on to the next one, ROM, read only memory, is abbreviated as ROM. Okay, the CPU can only read data from it. The CPU uses its data for the computer's startup. It tells the computer what to do after you start. It is a permanent memory system, as the data and written contents, once written to it, remains fixed. The contents never change even when the computer is switched off. Therefore, it is called non-volatile memory. Okay, so second one is non-volatile memory. First one is volatile memory, which means the temporary one. Second one is non-volatile memory. It is permanent one. Okay, the computer, when we give this, CPU can only read data from it. So CPU is reading data from here. Okay, and when computer tells it to start up, then it starts. Okay, then wait for the next command. Okay, so it is a permanent memory system, as the data and content once written to it remains fixed. Okay, whatever we store up here, so it remains. So this is also almost like, looks like RAM. Okay, but this is permanent memory. You got it? Okay, then there are several type of ROM that are used in computer. Okay, so there are different ROMs are used in computer. First one is PROM, EPROM, EPROM. Okay, the first one is PROM, stands for Programmable Read-Only Memory. The content of this memory can be written or programmed only once. What is this? PROM, PROM. This is only read-only memory. Read-only means only once we can do it. Okay, the second one, EPROM, stands for Erasable Programmable Read-Only Memory. It is a programmable read-only memory on which data can be erased by exposure to strong ultraviolet light and can be rewritten later. Okay, so this is the second one is just you think about, you can imagine like a pen and pencil. Okay, so if you write through pen, we cannot erase it. If it is through pencil, we can erase it, right? So the same way, erase and rewrite it. The same way, PROM is almost like a pen usage. For understanding, I'm just telling it. Okay, don't just directly think about pen and PROM. Okay, so just for understanding, I'm just telling. So this only read-only memory. Okay, whatever given gave the information to PROM, only we can read it. We cannot remake it. Once we made means final. We cannot remake it. Okay, then EPROM means we can erase it and we can rewrite on it. Okay. Then third one, EEPROM stands for electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. It is a programmable read-only memory on which data can be deleted electrically and can be electrically rewritten later. Okay, so these are the three different kind of memory. Okay, so these three different kind of memory is in ROM, ROM, or non-volatile memory. Okay, so that's all today's session. So this is basic or the fundamentals of computer. So today we have seen about the computer, okay, the functions of computer, Ipo cycle, okay. Then inside the computer CPU we have two main parts, components like arithmetic and control unit, and moved on to the memory area. In the memory area we have main two components. First one is internal memory and the another one is volatile. Means main memory and the secondary one. Okay, in the main memory we have two main parts. One is ROM and RAM. Okay, in RAM we have this is a what we call it is a temporary memory. Okay, then ROM is a permanent memory. Okay, where we can find three different kind of working. Okay, there are several type of ROM. Okay, that is used in the computer. Okay, so these are the things we have learned today. Got it? Okay, so next part we will see in the next class. Okay, that's all for today.